Good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Joy, would you please call the roll?
Hallie?
Yes.
Hammes?
Yes.
Ledger-Kalin?
Yes.
Boyer?
Yes.
Revelinsky?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Council, as you all are well aware, but for our audience members, several weeks ago, one of our employees was involved in a pretty serious accident and has spent that time in the hospital since. We learned this afternoon that he did not make it and passed away. So right now I'd like to just start with a moment of reflection for Larry Hanshaw and silence. Thank you. Now we'll begin our meeting. First, I'll ask if there are any additions or corrections to this evening's agenda. If not, we'll move to our consent agenda. We have approval of minutes from the November 25th meeting. We have a resolution for employment of Park and Rec Department, approval of liquor licenses for Flamingo Lanes, Loglis, Islas, and La Hacienda, and approval of claims in the amount of $550,761. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Moved by Revelinsky.
Second.
Second by Boyer. Any discussion? Not, please call the roll.
Revelinsky?
Yes.
Boyer?
Yes.
Hammes?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Ledger-Kalin?
Yes.
Hallie?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, for our appearances before the council, Dan Miller with the Jefferson County Environmental Health. Dan?
So here we are again. It's been a year since I've come and speak to the mayor and city council about Radon and Radon Action Month, which is January of every year. So I'm Dan Miller, head of the Jefferson County Environmental Health Department. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you this evening about radon. And I want to thank the mayor and the city council for claiming January as Radon Action Month for the past 5 years, which has encouraged residents to learn about and test for radon. So first off, what is radon? It's a colorless, odorless, radioactive gas that comes from the natural breakdown of uranium in the soil. Radon is everywhere, and it gets into buildings through cracks and openings in foundations and slabs. When we breathe radon gas in, it causes cellular damage, which can lead to cancer. That's why radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. Iowa has the highest percentage of homes with elevated radon in the U.S. And of course, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The good news is that it's easy to test for, which is the only way to know if your home has an elevated radon level. It's also easy to mitigate. The EPA has set the action level for radon at 4 picocuries per liter of air and recommends that all homes be tested. Living in a house at 4 picocuries per liter is like smoking a half a pack of cigarettes a day. Last year, we had a reading of 59.2 picocuries per liter, the highest I've ever seen to date. The U.S. Surgeon General Health Advisory reads, indoor radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States, and breathing it over prolonged periods can present a significant health risk to families all over the country. It's important to know that this threat is completely preventable. Radon can be detected with a simple test and fixed with well-established ventilating techniques. And the EPA has put out a report that shows in the U.S. there's more deaths associated with radon than with drunk driving, falls in the home, drownings, and home fires. So we see that it's a serious matter, and but the good news is, again, it's simple to test for, and it's fairly simple to mitigate. So last year, the Jefferson County Environmental Health Department applied for and received one of 12 state grants from the Iowa Department of Public Health to purchase 125 radon test kits to distribute free of charge and to encourage school administrators to test for radon and mitigate if necessary. And I spoke with the city administrator too, and he was all for testing all the city buildings. 123 results were recorded. Of those, 63 were at or above the EPA action level, which is 51%. 14 of the 63 homes were mitigated, which is 22%. So we are making some progress. For the past 5 years, around 50% of the homes tested were at or above the EPA action level. So there's a 50% chance that your home has elevated levels of radon, and again, the only way to know is to test for it. This year, the Jefferson County Environmental Health Department has applied for the radon grant again. If awarded, it will allow us to purchase 175 radon test kits, and it requires me to speak with city and county officials about radon-resistant new construction policies. Several cities and counties in Iowa have radon-resistant new construction policies in place. The awarding of the grants will be announced at the end of December. Of course, this doesn't give me much time to get ready for the beginning of January. But the local Lions Club is donating enough funds to purchase 50 radon test kits, which I received today. So we will have some test kits to give out, even if we don't receive the state grant. Test kits will be given out starting January 2nd between 9 and 12 at the Jefferson County Environmental Health Department at 901 North 8th Street. There will be public service announcements going out soon. We want to create a healthier community, which is evident by our Blue Zones project and many other projects. Reducing radon is a simple prevention that will improve the overall health of our community. That is why I'm asking the mayor and city council to once again proclaim January as Radon Action Month. For more information on radon, you can go to our website, Jefferson County, Iowa, all spelled out, .com. In the left-hand menu, click on Environmental Health, scroll down to radon, and there's links there to the Iowa Department of Public Health site on radon and also the EPA site on radon. Thank you. Any questions?
Dan, thanks for your presentation and for your reminder about how serious this is or can be. Kevin and I were just talking that I think the city would be happy to be a distribution point also, since there's so many people from the public who come through City Hall for one reason or the other, if you would like to designate that, and whether it's some of the donated kits or kits that we could make available for sale. I think we would be happy to offer that service. And then we could make people aware of that on our website, Facebook page, that they could be picked up here.
Great.
Something we could discuss.
We can talk.
Okay, follow up with Kevin on that.
Great.
Council entertain a motion to proclaim January Radon Action Month and see if we can continue to educate and get some of the properties and homes in our community mitigated.
So moved.
Moved by Boyer.
Second.
Second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks for your report, Dan.
Thank you.
Next, Council, we have 4 tax abatements before you for the end of the year here. The first one that we're going to consider is 400 East Buchanan Avenue. Denny and Linda Oakes are the proprietors. And Kevin, we have the full applications in front of us. If there are any particular comments you'd like to make on any of them, go ahead. If not, then maybe they speak for themselves.
I think they do. We found them to be in order.
Okay. So, first request then by Denny and Linda Oakes. Entertain a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Okay. Moved by Hammes.
Second.
Second by Ledger Kalin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. And next we'll move to our second, which is being requested by Norm's Rental. Norm is here this evening.
Move for approval.
Okay, moved by Hammes to approve.
Second.
Second by Ledger Kalin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks. And then the third would be 401 North 4th Street, requested by Tom Ridgely. Tom is also here this evening. Are there any questions?
Move for approval.
Okay. Moved by Hammes to approve.
Second.
Second by Ledger Kalin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. And our final is 1012 Walton Road by Ricardo and Beth Alonzo. This is a home.
Move for approval.
Okay. Moved by Hammes.
Second.
Second by Ledger Kalin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Next, council, we want to set a public hearing for our CDBG Downtown Revitalization Grant. January 13th will be our first full working meeting. The application is due 9 days after that. We'll have information for you. There's been a lot of ongoing work. I think as I reported at the end of the last meeting, Kevin and I have meetings on Wednesday with all of the property owners and with RDG Design, whose proposed designs will be considered by each of those property owners, and with our grant writers at Area 15. All of that should be buttoned up by that point. We'll have our public hearing. So I'd entertain a motion then to set January 13th as a public hearing date for the CDBG grant.
So moved.
Moved by Boyer.
Second.
Second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks. Also on the same evening, we'd like to set a public hearing for the rezoning of 105 West Broadway Avenue from R2 to B1.
100.
Sorry? Yes, I'm sorry, it's 1005 West Broadway Avenue from R2 to B1. Kevin, anything to heads up on this?
No, Your Honor. We do find the rezoning to be in order so far. We have no written or oral objection.
And that's been through the planning and
Planning
zoning
process, yes,
planning
it has.
process. Okay. Then entertain a motion to set public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton.
Second.
Second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks. Next, council, we're going to consider the acceptance of projects as completed. The 2013 street improvements, resurfacing of Maple, Harrison Avenue, and 14th Street as final. And I'll ask Melanie from French Reniker to give us some comments on these projects.
Okay, the first project is the resurfacing project of Maple, Harrison, and 14th Street there near Hy-Vee. Daryl, as well as Steve Hausner from our office, reviewed the work, and we feel that it is completed. The final retainage amount is $6,522.37. Your acceptance of the project tonight would begin a 2-year guarantee period. And I forgot to mention that this project was awarded to Norris Asphalt of Ottumwa.
Right, thanks, Melanie. And that was, let's see, it looked like from what you provided, the worksheet you provided, that came in under bid and
Yes.
has
Correct. The bid amount was $139,599. The bid amount was, or the final contract amount was approximately $9,000 under that.
right. Okay, thank you. So council, entertain a motion to approve the acceptance of the street resurfacing project as final and release the retainage of $6,522.37.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Rasmussen. Please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Boyer.
Yes.
Hammes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Melanie, our next one then is a wastewater improvements on Libertyville Road, Highway 1 extension.
Yes, this we commonly call the KC sewer, extending along the hospital property. Sean, Kevin, myself, as well as the contractor, reviewed the work, and find it to be in order. We also talked with Larry Mitchell at the Jefferson County Health Center, and he seating will be done in the spring by city crews. Other than that, he finds it to be in order. Your acceptance of the project tonight will begin a 2-year guarantee period, and the final release of retainage is for $1,786.10.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. And again, council, this is a total $35,603.13 project. So entertain a motion to accept this as final.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Boyer. Please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Hamus,
Yes.
Revelinsky,
Yes.
Hallie,
Yes.
Ledger Kalin,
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Thanks. And then our final is the wastewater project on the 200 block of Jefferson.
This project was awarded to Bob Brown of Fairfield. We have 2 pay estimates. The first is for the final quantities. Pay estimate number 3 is mainly for the concrete patching that was done. The pay estimate number 3 is for $25,134.31. This is due now. The retained amount is $3,723.69 for a total project cost of $74,473.77. And this also, your acceptance would also begin a 2-year guarantee period.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. So council will be approving the final payment and the retainage.
Move to approve acceptance.
Okay. Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Rasmussen. Please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Hallie,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Hamus,
Yes.
Revelinsky,
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You gonna stay up here for this next one, Melanie? Or?
I will
Okay.
sure stay up
So
here.
this next council, this is a resolution for an application for federal funding for the reconstruction of 7th to 9th Street on Kirkwood. As you know, our eligibility as a city to access our federal funds, our STP funds, are designated to particular streets within the city that qualify as federal roadways. So Kirkwood happens to be one of them. I think we're getting to the end of Kirkwood. I don't
Yes.
know. We're
Yeah,
probably
this
have to
finishes
start
the
over
Kirkwood.
again. And Harrison, Fillmore, I think, believe is another street that qualifies for that. So there's
D Street.
D Street would be
yeah.
another one that
Yeah.
I think we have on the master plan
But
spending in the future.
This 2-block portion then would be what we're going after to fulfill those STP funds, and this would be an application to do so. The determination of the use of funds goes into our 5-year plan with this organization, which is a regional planning authority. I sit as our representative on that, and then as those funds become available, they are approved by this body. So the application will be to this body. Anything else to add, Melanie?
We're looking for this to fit into the city budget of fiscal year 16. The money would become available in October of 15.
Yeah, I don't think we've got anything in our account right now. Yeah.
Well, and it's only a percentage. The city's portion is only a percentage of the project, and if I recall correctly, the STP funding is for 95% of the total project cost?
80-20.
80-20. Okay. Okay.
So the city's portion of this project would be estimated at $51,000.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, Melanie. So any other questions? Not entertain a motion to approve the resolution to apply for this funding.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Ledger Kalin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks. In next council, we have an authorizing a grant application again for funds for the paving of shoulders along Highway 1 South. This is a project that is being spearheaded by our Trails Council, so we'll get an update on that.
Yes, so like Ed said, this project is to apply for transportation alternatives money. It's federal money through Area 15, and the project would be to pave the shoulders on Highway 1 South, 8 feet wide on both sides from Fillmore Avenue to Libertyville Road, which is about a half a mile of work with 6-inch thickness asphalt on both sides. We feel that this is a very good project. This is a very dangerous stretch of road, and as it is now, there's really no good way to get to the southern portion of the Loop Trail without driving to get there, basically, or else riding your bike at least 5 or 6 miles. So our estimate at this point, if you notice, the resolution doesn't have any dollar amount listed in there. Our estimate at this point is about a $400,000 project. It would be 80-20 split, so the local match portion would be 20%, which comes out to about $80,000. We have met with the local District 5 DOT, and they're very supportive of this project. They have money in their budget to do 2-foot width shoulders for this same stretch. So we have at least gotten verbal commitments from them that they'd be willing to put up about $65,000 of the local match portion. So that leaves the city's portion at around $15,000.
That we can do.
Yeah, that's really terrific.
Yeah. So, I mean, it ends up being, you pay 4% for the project is what that ends up being.
Steve, have you, and again, this money comes from the same federal
Right.
sources, but designated specifically for these types of projects.
Yes, it's for transportation alternatives. The new transportation bill kind of rearranged everything. It's what used to be safe routes to schools, and that type of money is all in one pot now.
And what's different about asking for these is that there's kind of an allocation by population for the STP funds, whereas these funds are made available, and then whoever has the highest priority project within the district will get those funds.
Right.
So I don't know what the balance is in those funds right now, but
So this
idea?
application would be for fiscal year 18 funds.
okay.
18.
So if you were to get that, then we'd be looking at construction for 2020 then.
Okay.
So this is a long ways out. There's a pretty long waiting line from what we understand now for this money. So
Okay, that's kind of what I expected.
yeah. So and this is kind of a long range project. I know that there's some talk of some bigger work happening on Highway 1 South, and there could be potential to wrap this project into that one too if the timing were to work out.
Okay. So I think it's wise to get in line. So
Yeah.
let's do that. Council, entertain a motion authorizing the application for grant funds for the paving of the shoulders.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Boyer, second by Revelinsky.
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign.
I'm abstaining.
Thank you. And
Right.
an abstain. As a member of the Trails Council,
Right, as
Jessica will
co-chair.
be abstaining.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Council, we have annexation request for the Laos-Deo subdivision. Kevin, would you give us some background on this, please?
Yes, Your Honor. If you will remember, we had some trouble with Laos-Deo before, and we were looking at all these different activities down on our Highway 1 South area down there. It was that little triangle that we were looking at we couldn't decide ownership of. But we did figure all that out, and it turns out those folks do own that piece of property. So we find that this annexation request would be in order. It is a voluntary annexation request, so we are happy with that and happy to have those Laos-Deo subdivision owners in the city.
And how many acres? It's 0.0.
For an exact number, I tell you.
No, I see that it's written in there. I don't know that there's a total. There were several others. Just curious, but that's fine.
Not a huge piece of property, but nevertheless in a key area, so very important.
Council, entertain a motion to approve the voluntary annexation of Laos-Deo subdivision.
Move for approval.
Moved by Hamilton.
Second, and I do have a request from
Yeah,
the city
go ahead.
administrator. It'd be great if we had a little map with these, because I forgot where this was, and you can never tell from the legal description, or I can't. So.
Yes, and we looked at one before, and I thought, why didn't I? I should have put that in the package again. We looked at a little small version of it once in that original council meeting, but gosh, I started thinking it was just the other day, but it was actually about 4 or 5 months ago. So
Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
it wasn't quite the other day.
Any other discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Ledger Kalin,
Yes.
Hallie,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Hamas.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then next, council, we have another annexation request for land adjacent to Prairie Lakes subdivision, Lot 6. Kevin, description on that?
Yes, Your Honor. This one is a subdivision that Ed Harvey is doing. I think he is actually here if anybody has any questions, but it's a little piece of property. It was outside of that original subdivision, and he wanted to go ahead and bring that in. Ed, if you want to explain.
The piece, Lot 6, I believe it was kind of an odd-shaped piece, more of a parallelogram than a rectangle. And the buyer wanted to be able to square it off just to make it more useful. So she's requesting that she can buy that triangle and annex it into the city as part of her lot.
And of course, you guys can see that one if you scroll to the item and view down and see that small triangular piece. So bringing that in, happy with that as well, voluntary annexation.
And that's land that you own and you're conveying to her?
Yes.
Okay. So the request then is by Prairie Lake subdivision? at
Yes.
this point. Okay, great.
Move for approval.
Moved by Revelinsky to approve.
Second.
Second by Hamilton. Any discussion? Not, please call the roll.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Hamas,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Ledger Kalin,
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. Next, council, we have a resolution to accept the preliminary and final plat for Prairie Lakes subdivision.
Yes, Your Honor. This issues arose when we were looking at the original plat and some different activities that Ed was and some of the other owners up there were looking at undertaking. So we just came to the conclusion that maybe doing a new plat would be the right thing to do, appropriate thing to do. We ended up going through preliminary and final plat procedures in one night in the planning room, of course, because this is a longstanding subdivision piece, and there were small changes we made by taking a small area that was in the formerly in a general ownership area and bringing that into one of the lots to make that lot work a little bit better, and various small changes like that. We didn't feel that they were overly substantive, but certainly a new platting process would bring things a little more clarity. So we did that, and we would be requesting approval of those actions and those recommendations by the Planning Commission tonight.
So this is one that is replacing previously approved
Indeed it is.
plats. Okay. And tell us how many homes are in the subdivision now?
I believe there's 7 or 8.
Very good. Any questions, council? If not, entertain a motion to approve the preliminary and final plat for Prairie Lake subdivision.
So moved.
Moved by Boyer,
Second.
second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you, Ed. Next, council, we have rezoning of land adjacent. Oh, I'm sorry, there is one more piece of business here. Land adjacent to Prairie Lake subdivision, Lot 6, which we just approved from R1 to R2. And again, everything that does come in through annexation will come in as R1. The subdivision as it exists right now is an R2 subdivision.
It is indeed, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are just making this comply with the rest of the subdivision as an R2.
I move to suspend the rules.
John, all right, motion to suspend the rules.
Oh, Christmas spirit.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hamilton.
I don't usually like to do that.
Just
but-
try it.
No,
Just try it.
I think it's wise. We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. So then, John, would you like to make the motion to approve this from the first to the third and final reading?
Yes, it would. So
Okay. Motion by Revelinsky,
Second.
second by Boyer. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Revelinsky.
yes.
Boyer.
Yes.
Hammes.
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, council, we're going for the second half of the alley that we did approve earlier in the fall. And again, this is the east half block alley adjacent to the First United Methodist Church. As you recall, we believed we were approving the whole thing, but the language in the ordinance was for the west half, so we're trying to approve the full alley, the east
Your Honor, I
half.
would like to.
I would
Maybe
move
another
to
opportunity to suspend the rules.
Unless
We did
Mr.
have three.
Revelinsky would like to.
We did have 3 readings on the first alley,
That's all right. I'll
Yes,
let you
we
do
did.
it.
and there
I wanted
are fewer neighbors on the east side as well. So,
Yes, there are.
is that a motion, Darren?
Yes.
A motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Second by Hammes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. And do I have a motion to pass from the first to the third and final reading the vacating of half block, the Methodist Church?
So moved.
Moved by Boyer,
Second.
second by Rasmussen. Please call the roll.
Boyer.
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Hammes.
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Dispensing with all kinds of business tonight. That's great. Next, council, we are going to entertain the first reading for our social host ordinance. You all have a copy of this ordinance. I'd like to first ask our Public Safety Committee that Public Safety was involved in putting this?
Well, Mayor, I was just going to say, were there two votes we need
Yes,
to do
there
on
are.
United Methodist?
Oh, yeah, we got it.
The conveyance, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah, I
the
do need a
resolution.
resolution authorizing the conveyance of real estate. So,
So moved.
moved by Revelinsky.
Second.
Second by Hamilton. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thanks, John. So next, council, we do have our first reading of our social host ordinance. I'd like a report from Public Safety about the development of this ordinance and some of the elements within it.
Sure.
Good?
So Don Sanders came and met with us at our last public safety meeting on the 2nd of December. And basically what this ordinance is what the county currently has. So it's really there isn't any changes to it. It's the same thing that the county has now. So it would be us just accepting and kind of putting our support behind the ordinance.
And this is basically a law that draws in the property owners of any type, whether it's someone who owns or rents, where there's illegal activity that's going on. Chief?
The key behind this is knowingly allows this to happen.
Right.
If you're a homeowner and your child has a party unbeknownst to you, that homeowner will not be in trouble. However, if you keep having reoccurring parties at your residence, then you knowingly are allowing these parties to happen. So that, therefore, then we give this citation, which is an administrative, not a criminal citation.
Okay. And Julie explained what would the penalty be on an administrative citation?
John, do you remember? I don't remember what. $750.
Okay.
And then it goes up, I think, incrementally by the number of violations.
$1,000, yeah.
Okay.
Committee.
We asked the police chief what her opinion is of the ordinance.
I think it actually will be a very good thing. It'll be a key component. With underage binge drinking, we've attacked it on all sides, whether it's been the merchants, the kids supplying the alcohol. This is kind of the last key to it, is the places that are allowing the parties to happen. So it kind of wraps everything in, so that way we can go at it on all fronts. We belong to the Alcohol Coalition, and this is the state of Iowa going to in this direction. So we're just kind of following suit, and I think it'll have a significant impact. We've had one residence in the county that has been given this warning about knowingly having these parties, and those parties that resident has ceased. We've had one of the schools contact us, and we went and said, hey, this is coming in November. By virtue of the county passing their ordinance, we can enforce this in the city too. And that residence has quit having the parties. So I think it's having a positive impact.
And the committee wasn't interested in fining people large sums of money. It's a deterrent. And since it's already law in the county, we've seen that it's worked as a deterrent. I don't believe any fines have actually been issued, but these places are kind of shutting down.
Don, just a question. Do our border counties have the ordinance as well? Because sometimes you wonder about where you're actually just pushing the business to once you've outlawed it. So
as
nowhere to turn.
As part of our work, when we prepared the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors for this, both Washington County and Mount Pleasant, which is Henry County, and also the city of Mount Pleasant also have social host ordinances. And so we did a comparison between the alcohol behavior rates in Jefferson County, compared them to those two, and there's a significant difference. For example, for underage drinking, Jefferson County was ranked second highest in the state, and those two counties are 46th and 47th. So I believe Julie's absolutely correct. The purpose of this ordinance is to quote Dick Reed, which nobody wants to quote Dick Reed, but
Merry Christmas, Dick. Merry Christmas, Dick. We love
I'm
you.
sure he'll hear that. So
He must be a good friend.
But Dick Reed said the ordinance is really trying to make people think before acting. So
there you go.
That's the essence of it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Any other questions, council? Not then. Entertain a motion to.
I have one item before we do this. In section 2, paragraph 8, item A, there's a spelling error. Should be the persons who own, rents, leases, or otherwise has control of the premise, where the even should be event, gathering, or party takes place. So the word should be event instead of even.
That's crossing your T's. That's actually putting in a T.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dropping a
But
T.
that's actually reading what the ordinance says before you act upon
that
it.
too.
Ouch.
We're always impressed.
Right, exactly.
I promised I read it. A couple times.
Yeah, I read it too.
Look,
Me
with
too.
with that
Couple
correction, would you?
I would make a motion to pass this from the first to the second reading with that amendment, please.
Okay, sure.
Second.
Moved by Hamilton, second by Rasmussen. Any other questions or discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Hamas.
Yes.
Boyer.
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Next, council, we have an amendment to our signed ordinance. I don't believe we've got we were delivered a copy tonight, correct?
Yes. Yes, you were, Your
So
Honor.
you'll tell us what the amendment amounts to.
We have two slight amendments here. We are needed to add monument, a definition for a monument sign, which is your most popular ground sign that you're going to see out there, and a definition for a pole sign. Ironically, these are the two most popular signs that you see in new commercial buildings, but they were as a marked lack of a good and proper definition for each. And so you can see in here that, as you would typically see, a monument sign has a typical definition there with a 15 feet maximum height. So that's the big thing that you're looking at. They're usually 12 to 15 feet in height is the maximum. We went for 15. Pole sign, 35 feet is the maximum given. And, of course, the definition for a pole sign that is typical. If you want to read through those.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you getting this amendment out on Connie's last night because she was
That's right.
a big part of the sign
One
ordinance.
full circle.
Well,
I can see you reading it very intently. Yeah, there you go.
What was I thinking?
Minor things, really, but with new businesses coming in and stuff, and I had spoken with Pilot Grove, I think, early on about a monument sign. Don't know if they're going in that direction still, but getting these maximum heights in there would be a good thing right now. Before we go into zoning code and later work, I would assume to bring it into that code. So.
Okay. And have we had recent installations that would have violated these heights or that brought it to our attention?
Good question, but no, not that I'm aware of. But with what we're looking like a little bit more building on a commercial level going forward, I thought it'd be a good idea to just get those parameters in there.
Why did we? I mean, whose idea was it to go 35 feet on the pole sign?
12 to 15 feet are typical for monument sign allowance, and 35 to 50 feet, are typical on pole sign allowance. 35 is a pretty common number. 30 and 35 are really common numbers.
According to,
just the planning world. In the planning world, most cities, looking at most cities, 35 is what you're going to see on a rudimentary level out there. But it's a little more giving than 30, I thought, and some businesses, it's in that 5 feet is important. But the Planning Commission did give their approval for this and forwarded it, but it's worth, a conversation, I guess.
Well, I'm just curious. Was like the Beautification Commission involved with this at all? Or?
No, I took it out of a code that I formerly wrote, as a matter of fact. But that code was written taking numbers from codes that many other communities that we looked at that time. That was about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago that we did that. I just proposed it to the Planning Commission as, at least right now, as numbers that are good, that are commonly used out there. I think a lot more conversation will probably happen about the sign code and a lot of other things on the zoning level pretty soon, when we get into the comp planning stage and a zoning code stage. But for now, at least we're giving some parameters that have a limit to them. We know what our limits are, which is important. Someone could come in and want to put up a 50-foot sign. We could be in a bit of a pinch there. So.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, council? I entertain a motion to pass the amendment.
Your Honor, I would ask for a waiving of the readings if that were possible. To the pleasure of council.
Not seeing any takers on that. We'll go entertain a motion to pass from the first to the second reading tonight.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton.
Barring any spelling errors.
Yeah. Well, you've got 4 weeks to check. So,
okay.
Yeah. Motion by Hamilton.
Second.
Second by Boyer. Any other discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Hammes,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Hallie,
Yes.
Revelinsky,
Yes.
Ledger Kalin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The council, my report, I just wanted to ask about a date for a work session in January. And Kevin, thank you for suggesting a date today. I was kind of hoping we might do it a little bit earlier in the month. And again, we use this time for committees to report on what their goals would be, talk about some of the issues outside of our legislative arena, just general big picture things for the community going forward. Just in general, take some time to maybe have longer discussions about some of the bigger issues in the community. So just looking at some of the days, Saturday the 11th, I know that is just prior to our first council meeting, but I think probably the logical one. Would that work for everyone in terms of their schedule? Read from 9 to noon. Okay. Tony, does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay. Jessica?
Yeah.
Doug Flournoy? Okay. All right. Very good. So I'd entertain a motion to set January 11th for council work session, 9 a.m. at City Hall.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton, second by Revelinsky. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Thanks. You can still set it.
You don't care.
For everybody to be here on that Saturday.
Right. We also need to set our organizational meeting for our swearing in of new council members, mayor, and officers of the city. So we'll do that on January 2nd at 12 noon here. Entertain a motion to set January 2nd as our swearing in.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton.
Second.
Second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Sorry I didn't get these passed out ahead of time, Council, but I put together the committee appointments for the upcoming 2014. Doug, we've got a copy for you here as well. And if it is possible to try and get your new committee together before the 11th, that would be helpful in terms of our goal setting and planning. And if not, then I think we can do some of that at that meeting.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I think maybe Jessica should be on. This has too many. Jessica's only on one.
Okay.
Oh, no, she's on.
No, she's on 3. Pretty sure. Yeah, she's on 3. Economic development, water, sewer.
Oh, so you just pitched some things around.
Right.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, and if you have any questions regarding those, you can see me after the meeting as well. That's everything I had. Council, we'll move to our committee reports. Is there a Water and Sewer Utilities Committee report?
Yes, there is. We met and we had 2 items of discussion. The first was a request to waive sewer fees for a person who had a outside faucet that was left on inadvertently. It was determined by the committee with the help of Carl Chandler from the water department that this was something that would not have went through the sewer on it, and it has been the case where if something's identified as being an outside water source and the bill reflects sewer as well as the water, that the sewer fee would be waived. And it was with the approval of the committee to allow the sewer fee to be waived for this. And the bill had already been paid, and this will come back in the form of a credit on the bill, on this person's bill, until such time that reimbursement has been made. So no funds will actually go back to that person.
Okay.
How long is it going to take to get its money back?
Not long. And then the other item that we talked about was the amendment to Chapter 1404, 110, occupancy metering and cutoff. And it was sent to a committee of Kevin, I, and our city attorney to look at this coming up this week to figure out if there is a better way to modify this ordinance in order to fit into all of the different situations that we have with inaccessible meters. Right. And how this would work moving forward with not only new construction but complete remodel of an existing larger home into apartments, and how that would be handled. So at this time, we don't have anything that we're going to bring to the council until after we've had this chance to work on this ordinance this week.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Next, we'll ask for a Public Safety and Transportation Committee report.
There really isn't anything to report other than the social host ordinance, so okay. We already took care of that. So.
Thank you. Before we adjourn this evening, I want to just take a few minutes to profoundly thank Connie Boyer for the years that she, the most recent years that she's given to the council. I think we were extraordinarily fortunate when Connie agreed to run for the seat again when Myron Buchan retired, and she always makes a tremendous contribution, very balanced and fair-minded, and not afraid to speak her mind as well. And I am really happy that the signed ordinance did come up again, just for to get a chance to revisit that. But Connie, thank you very much. Always a great pleasure to work with in every phase of this this responsibility that we all take to serve the public. So thank you very much for your service. Yeah. And we'll welcome Doug Flournoy on January 2nd. We'll get you sworn in, and looking forward to you joining the council as well, Doug. Thank you. Kevin? Yes, go ahead.
Jordan, I do think it might be important that we go ahead and get a motion and a vote for that bill change. Just to go ahead and get it, I'd like to do that if that's possible. I would concur with everything that Darren had said and the decision made by the subcommittee, but I think it might be a good idea if we go ahead and get a motion and vote on that.
Okay.
Can we just give the amounts? I'm just curious what the amount was.
I don't have a record of that in front of me. There was an email that was sent out to some of the committee members, and I searched. I didn't receive that.
Not a huge amount. I can't remember the exact amount. I can get that out tomorrow.
Is it over $300, $400?
It was over $300 or $400, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, do you remember what the exact amount was? On the sewer that we came in with?
Under 1,000?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't have the exact amount. No.
We're talking about the lady that came in.
Right.
It was over $300 or $400 though. It was going to take a couple of months. I mean, a few months.
That's fine. I'm just curious what the ballpark was. So if it's under 1,000, then I have an idea. I
can get it out in the email
vote
tomorrow.
on that. That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'd entertain a motion to approve the refund as discussed in the Water and Sewer Utilities Committee.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton, second by Rasmussen. Please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Boyer, yes, Hallie,
Yes.
Ledger Caitlin,
Yes.
Hamas,
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Thank you. And council, we will then entertain a motion to adjourn to January 2nd for our organizational meeting, and in doing so, wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Hamilton to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Revelinsky. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Meeting adjourned.